Hello, and as the video starts, so too does the music. Welcome to session 2 of Sentiment. I just want to run. Showing our new splash screen. Compliments by to Spacey themselves. Oh. We will hit introductions and then we'll start with a recap. Starting from the top, our wonderful camera.
Hello, I'm Evan. I co-GM and record.
Next up,
Lee. Hello, I am Spacey Chase. I do a draw sometimes. Sometimes. I also have a Twitter. I use that less times.
this is true. And hi, I'm Zero. I will be running this game. I do a draw sometimes too, in fact. And I run this channel. Hopefully we'll have some more fun adventures. Less times than sometimes, but more than one times. However, last time on I Just Want to Run, we started out with a story. A folk tale, one could say, of a figure from the past. And as the story went and the story ended, we pulled back and looked to the person who told the story. A cricket lad by the name of Vinny, telling a story to a group of Chow, who watched with rapt interest and numerous amounts of excitement, including a specific Chow who would tag along with our bug friend, Portamento the Chow. A little onion lad. Green onion? Leek.
Yes.
A lad.
Green onion lad.
Green onion lad.
My beautiful leek boy.
They would leave the local Chow garden, where the Chows lived, and explore the town that they were within. Maybe not reside within, but were currently at. They met numerous faces as they walked to town. First, they walked to the north, meeting two friends, Parhelia the chameleon, a rather large and friendly chameleon, and Rosa Teeth, a shark individual who tended to tread water. Continuing, they met Gall the gunner, I don't remember what kind of bird, but a bird individual who was a bit too cool for school.
A Gall.
Is that an ice cream truck? Anyway. Anyway, they continued and met the coolest guy in town, for real this time. Punch the Tiger, a boy who can indeed open a soda bottle. Ignoring whoever the heck is close to the whoever was closest to the Chow Garden, numerous times, they continued and met in the cafe to meet Rivet the Bat and Teeny the Cat. The local town ringsmith and cat.
Yeah.
Gall the Gull. And the other individual who Vinny never interacted with but did see in the distance was L'Oreelli the Yak, who was kind of just enjoying her time. Your token. Are you not set to do things? You're not. That's fine. And that is where after meeting with Rivet the Bat, Bug was informed of a thing that had been going around lately. Strange rings, similar to those that are used for general life here in this city and most of the world, had been found in weird hexagonal shapes, bent out of function and form. While they could be fixed, there is no known source of this occurrence. There was also note that within an alley between some houses in town, there had been a little bit of ruckus that was caused. Vinny, the ever-curious and ever-problem-seeking, decided to go check it out, where he had encountered a badnik, a type of robot known to prowl the lands, though hadn't been seen in town in quite a while. Taunts the robot rabbit, a little mischief maker who likes to throw insults and exploding letters. However, Vinny and Portamento were able to easily dispatch this creature. And after having a nice conversation with Vela the Sea Slug, an individual who Vinny had avoided most of the day, had some comforting words, and went on his way. However, it is worth noting that during the encounter with Vela the Sea Slug, I did forget something. I forgot this. Bond up. Bug, and Slug.
Oh.
It's okay. Vela the Sea Slug also forgot it.
She indeed also forgot. You see, this is maybe an hour later while Vela realized, oh, that was a bond up! Oh! Yes. So,
I like.
after that, Bug walked closer to the edge of town and thought about what he had been told throughout the day, all the encounters he had, and he wondered to himself what he wanted. And in the end, he decided a simple sentence, a thing he wanted. I gestured, Spacey.
I just want to run.
Just wants to run.
Wait.
And we are going to cut back to town. Vinny, you have a number of things you could do. What are you interested in doing?
Oh. Am I coming back to town the next day?
Yeah.
Okay.
You went off for the night, returning to your tree house, your treeed house. And you had a restful night before returning to town.
The two places I think of first are the Chow Garden and the docks. I am somewhat predictable.
Let me just move some people around. I'm gonna do some moving. You'll go here today. You go here. You two will bug this person. You'll be up here. And you'll be here. Okay. NPCs are set up.
Yay. Uh, many. Okay. I feel like I should have put more thought into this now.
You're okay. I will say, if you do go to the Chow Garden, that will mostly be off screen, but you will entertain the Chows for some
Yay.
period of time.
Yes.
That is a relatively common thing for Vinny to do during the day.
Yay. I think. Is Rivet outside or is he in his shop?
He is in his shop.
Okay. I'm looking around.
Oh, you know what? If you already have one, drop your swing. Why don't you heal to full?
Drop
Give it a
some-
night's rest.
Okay.
Get 10 HP.
Plus 2.
And why don't you give me a start of the session roll to die? Reflect on how you're feeling today.
Okay. Well,
The bones.
the bones. My bones have allowed me to choose. Hello,
No.
yellow. No. That's fine.
Would you like to lock in anything?
I think blue makes sense if we're trying to keep in mind trying new things. I think, yeah, okay. Trying new things. Sort of like picking up where he left off yesterday. Just like, okay. What is something that I don't normally do?
What is something that you don't normally do? Well, you do know you don't normally come to town this often. So, point 1 for Bug.
Yay! I guess. Taking the initiative to talk to Rivet. You know what? He's right there. A flip. I will keep that in weird intrusive thought. Yeah, that makes sense for Blue.
You do know you have some good hops. You may not walk very fast or run very fast, but you do got some good hops on you.
Oh
Them
god.
cricket legs.
Okay, do I roll for hops?
You do not need to do a hops.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know that you are good at the jump.
Do not entertain the intrusive thoughts. Let's start. Talk with the closest person nearby. What
Do
does
you
Rivet
walk
shop?
on in?
Yeah.
Were you asking what it was called?
What is what is the inside of Rivet's shop look like?
You walk into the shop that this batted friend is. There's a jingle at the door, as you know, ching ching ching, as you walk in, and you see it. Shop is a word for it. Others would use the word forge. There is a counter. The stone floor is a little cracked and dirty. There's a nice rug on the far end close to the door. You assume to wipe your feet either coming in or out, you're not sure. And behind a stone counter, a stone countertop that works as the cutoff point. Behind there is a large anvil and a furnace. Number of tools hung on the wall, along with some spare aprons. It's a very warm building.
Huh.
You do also notice a small little, like, water fountain to the side.
Huh.
Like a, like, almost like a outside fountain, but behind the counter.
Mm.
You do remember that Rivet said that water tends to be relatively important to rings.
Hmm. Like, where they come from? Something like that?
They seem to... It's a weird thing. Rivet explained a little bit. To best of your memory, he said that rings tend to appear from sources of water. So you see Rivet behind the counter. He doesn't have a hammer in his little hand or any projects going on. The forge is still being stoked for the beginning of the day. And he just has like a little booklet and a pencil. There's a single pen behind one of his big bad ears.
Aw.
But as soon as you open the door and there's the tiniest little jingle jingle, like ears go up. Oh. Howdy. How can he help you?
Hi.
Oh. Vinny, surprised to see you again. Don't normally see you 2 days in a row.
Sort of recedes into Jacket, kind of sheepishly. How have you been?
I've been doing good. I'm doing best I can, at least. Not much of a morning person myself.
That is understandable.
The bat looks at the cricket. Both creatures known for being awake at night.
How do I express restlessness? Antenna twitchy. He looks like he wants to ask something, but he doesn't really know how.
Well, why don't I see how I'm feeling today? I get you. I can empathize. Rivet lets out a big old yawn. Sorry about that. You doing okay over there? It's not too hot in here, is it? I know it can get a little bit much.
It's fine. I'm mostly just... Remember when I was talking to you yesterday about trying to do something new?
Rivet raises one of his eyebrows, like leans on the leans on the counter, one winged arm underneath his beardy chin. A little bit. You got something brewing in there now? Brewing under that shell of yours?
Less brewing, more, sort of like kicks the back of his like left heel a little bit. Not sure where to start. How is Portamento doing right now, by the way?
Mento.
Mento.
This is your blue stack. Mento is unlike you, potentially you, or it might just be your apprehension for the day. Mento's having a wonderful morning.
Fantastic.
He's walked into this little establishment, and to him, it's like a nice little sauna. He's nice and warm.
Yes. I get so happy whenever this all shows up. Toasty onion. I think seeing Portamento doing Peachy Keen gives Cricket strength.
you feel the good vibes. Like your antenna, which have been twitching, kind of hone in on Portamento, and you can feel the good vibes.
Pick up.
You pick up the boy. He vibrates happily.
This
He-
might
he
just. It's a
Besides his little
thing.
chirpy baby noises, he doesn't make too much noise, but you know that much like a cat who purrs, while there's no noise, he does vibrate slightly whenever he is exceedingly happy.
Yes.
He like buzzes.
Hmm.
Well, seems like someone's having a good morning.
I'm glad. I think. Is it all. Would it be weird if I asked for some suggestions?
Well, I'm happy to help.
Oh.
He stops leaning on the counter, and you see him hop off of what you can only assume to be a stool. Rivet is not very big. And he pitter-patters his way from behind the counter. How can I help you?
Uh, is there, like, do you know what people around town have been doing lately? I know you're sleepy right now. Ugh.
I'm a little sleepy, but I mean, who isn't this early in the morning? It might not be that early. Don't look at the clock or nothing.
Don't worry.
Well, I know. I mean, if you're looking for someone specific, I could probably tell you what they tend to be doing around this hour. But most people just kind of day to day. We help each other around town, make sure things are clean, make sure everyone's looking good, everyone's got food. It's not a complicated life here. We ain't no big city.
Okay.
I know there's 3 little kids that tend to be running around and causing problems. But if you're looking for anyone specific, I can probably tell you what's going on.
How are Rose and Parhelia doing?
Rose and Parhelia. Well, Parhelia tends to she tends to like to fish, as I'm sure you're well aware. Most of my understanding of her routine is she goes fishing, and just kind of follows the water to wherever seems good. She can tend to disappear from time to time. No one even knows where, but she tends to be around. Doesn't break things nothing, so I appreciate her.
Okay.
And Rose, very similar, though to a different degree. While you'll find Parhelia at the shore of most water, you'll find Rose in water somewhere. She tends to. It's her self-proclaimed job in the town is to keep the water clean, make sure fish are good. She's like a lifeguard for the entire pond.
Oh.
Lake. I think the term's lake. I think a pond's a little bit smaller. This. This. We call this a pond. We call this a. It's not. It's like not a river. So. That's where you tend to find those two.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, I think Rose's house is actually under the water, so
Oh.
visiting her abode tends to be quite a difficult one if you ain't one of the persuasion of the breathing water.
Fair enough.
Rose does break things. she's brought me her like trident a few times that she broke throwing at something.
Hmm. Spacey is looking at the town map and being like, okay, I went counterclockwise last time to explore. How about I go clockwise this time? It'll be funny.
That's true. Do you have anything you need fixing, Vinny?
Do I?
Any like gadgets or personal belongings that got broken? I can fix about anything.
Oh. Now Spacey has to remember if there was anything like that. I don't know. Huh.
Nothing from last session, but you can make something up if you want.
Ah. Okay.
Or you're fine. It's up to you.
The first thing that came to mind was like a chair. A chair from Treehouse was used to like reach up to like weird places inside of the house.
Stood on chair to reach the shelves, wondering why you put the shelves above your own your own reach.
It uses more space. It's efficient, right?
Yeah.
That's more this one than this one.
Well, if you have something, feel free to let me know.
Okay.
You got new stuff to do. Like I said, we don't tend to see you much around the 2 days in a row. You tend to pop in, look after the chows, and then head on out. At the very least, if we do see you another time, it tends to be at night, and I can't. It may not be the nicest thing, but most people aren't ready for a pair of black and blue eyes in the darkness.
Fair.
You have never seen yourself in the dark, but you can only imagine that if there is just darkness and you see a pair of blue eyes in the void.
Yeah. Probably has never registered that unless it's pointed out to him, so yeah.
Rivet doesn't seem very, affected by this train of thought, but he's like I said, we don't see you much, so seems like you're already doing pretty good on your objective to try new things.
Huh. Little smile. Hold Onion close.
Onion squeaks.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see you later then.
He waves. He waves goodbye. See you later. If you need something, feel free to come on now.
Gotcha.
He flaps his arms a little bit, his winged arms, and flips over the counter. He doesn't want to walk around. There's a loud dog in the distance. God damn.
Nah.
God dang it. You head out of the ring. You head out of the ring smithery, and begin a walking. You see the general store. Man, that dog's real going, ain't she?
Doggo has energy. Okay. Poke head inside general store.
You poke your head in the general store. You can see Punch behind the counter. He seems to be stocking a few things. Putting some stuff on. Oh, that's good. You can't hear the dog. Stocking a few of the shelves with some items, and you also see Well, Gull, what are you doing in the general store as Punch does his job?
Um. Buying a plunger.
A plunger.
And
Place.
also buying a large metal arrow
Oh,
with a little loop at the end where a rope is attached.
harpoon?
Oh? God doesn't know what that's called.
Oh.
Sorry, say again?
Hmm?
What is Gull doing?
What's this metal arrow with a rope attached called?
What is he holding?
A large metal arrow with a little loopy at the end where you're intended to tie a rope to it.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, is that a harpoon? And apparently Gaul doesn't know that it's called a harpoon unless I'm wrong too.
Punch like looks over his shoulder. Like he looks over half-heartedly. Like his sunglasses are even still down. And like he turns back and puts like a thing on the shelf. And then he turns around and lifts his sunglasses like, whoa, what? Why? This is a general store.
Well,
Where did you find that?
well, it's a general store, so it has like general stuff.
I mean, you're right.
Like,
But like general
You
general
have
stuff
to
tends
be
to
at
imply like
least
eggs,
oh, sorry.
like eggs and milk.
Yeah, but also like you
Flour.
gotta be at least a lieutenant to work here at the general store.
Hey, time to roll to die for Punch the Tiger. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, general stuff.
Yeah, general things.
So I wanted a new thing as an alternative to my plunger.
So you're looking to stop sticking things and looking to start sticking things?
Yeah, going back to the old days.
I mean, it's effective. I'd be careful if you're pointing it in the water. Rose does tend to be down there.
Well, that's the point.
No, I think hers bigger, so I think she's fine. I mean, he looks over Gull. If you're gonna be cool with it, I don't mind.
Okay, how much is it?
Just a couple.
Okay.
I'm not gonna name the currency. That's lame.
Gal hands over a couple of rings.
Oh, it's
Yeah. Rings different than power rings.
Yeah.
Thank you very kindly. Well, if you need anything else, I'll be right here. Putting
Why would I need
chewing
anything
gum.
from you? Huh?
He lowers his glasses. You never know when you might need a general. He gets a little shitty little grin. Like,
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
okay, I'm gonna put this chewing gum back on the shelf now. He like grabs a few boxes of gum. He gets back to do what he was doing.
Goes like, what? Did I win? What?
what? Competition. Is this a competition? Wait.
Vinny, you walk in on this strange encounter.
What?
Gaul is trying his best and Punch is just here.
Yeah.
Harpoon is like a fishing thing, right?
Oh. Oh, that's what it's called.
Is it not? What?
Oh, that's what it's called.
What did you
Yeah, I
want?
believe that's a harpoon.
Yeah.
Why did you want a harpoon?
I don't know. Why do
Oh.
you need a harpoon?
I don't, in fact.
To go
You
fishing.
said something about replacing your plunger. Don't you put the plunger in the gun?
You know what? I'm gonna figure this out.
That makes sense. I identify with this. Close his eyes.
I locked into my stat. That's relevant.
Oh,
You sure did.
what?
My bread stat.
Yeah. The harpoon stat. I forgot that I made the little crystal thing on Gull's gun also change colors. Good job, me.
Yeah. Good job, me. I was just buying reloads for my gun. You never know when you need to shoot fish.
You do also have the flashback to Gull pointing 120 and not doing much.
Lethal ammunition.
Lethal ammunition.
I think at this point, Vinny is just matching Portamento. Head tilt.
Can I help you with something? Punch leans his head upside down to look at you. You came in. Do you need something?
Sort of just wanted to say hi, see how people are doing.
Hi.
Oh,
Hello.
hey.
Wait.
Nice to see you. Gull is tsundere in the background, and Punch gives you a genuine smile.
Oh.
He's so confused.
The vibes of Vinny and Punch are different.
How so?
Vinny's just like, I'm here to say hi. Punch, meanwhile, is like, yeah, man, cool. Yeah, whatever you're saying sounds right to me.
I'll be heading out then. Wait, Porter,
Punch waves you by.
Porter, did you want to
That's
get something
nice.
from the store before we go?
Ooh.
How does Porter feel? It's that red stuff. It keeps coming back to it. He feels rage.
You see he's already holding something.
Oh, I'm gonna go back inside and pay for that. Wait, what did you get?
You see he's holding a little he's like a strawberry.
Stop, baby. Yes, this is fine.
It's a little general store, so there's little baskets full of fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. So he reached over with his tiny little hands and took a single strawberry.
Here, let me hold on. Gets an actual pack of no pack of strawberries for the road and pays for them. We will not steal in this
Awesome.
house.
I appreciate it kindly. Thank you. Whatever.
Yeah. There we go. Now we'll actually leave. Oh yeah. Sort of like, thank you for yesterday.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, but also thank you.
Huh.
That was
What?
fun.
Huh. Yeah, I had fun too.
Yeah. Scoot.
What? Oh. Dude. Yeah.
Scoot.
What?
I don't know how to like well, I know I'm cool, but sometimes like talking with people can be confusing, and it was really cool of you to invite me along for a thing.
Oh. The words. It's hard to talk to people. Echo around in little skull helmet head. I feel you, man.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really cool skull helmet head.
Skull? Skull?
You're like the most
Bugs have
awesome.
skulls? Don't they have like an exo skull?
Exo
Punch muses to himself in the background.
So, okay. God, we're doing this. Exoskeletons tend to be made from chitin, a material entirely different from what bones are made of, which tend to consist mostly of collagen.
Oh.
But that also depends on what kind of bones we're talking about too. So,
Is that the same thing my beak is made of?
Spacey doesn't actually know this.
I think it is.
Punches in the background with like a shitty little grin face. He's just like, this is happening.
Because they're both awesome.
Keratin. Oh, nice. The same things hair and nails are made from.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Nail beak.
But
Base nail.
yeah, thank you, and whatever. But also, I got this thing.
I see.
Uh,
I see.
and that's because I've been seeing some really weird fish, and I thought I left that behind me when I moved in.
Oh.
I might have to pull out the old techniques, and they were really weird.
Weird fish.
Yeah,
Weird how?
That's a lot of fish.
like plungers didn't work on them. They were too tough and like jagged and like stiff.
No flat surface to attach plunger to.
Yeah,
I see.
A thing fish are famous for.
almost reflective. But so many reflections. And red. Yeah.
Huh.
Well, I'm gonna chase that weird fish off, and so you don't have to worry about it. But if you see it, be careful. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
What is Barnamento doing, by the way? During this entire conversation. He has to be doing something, right?
You were locked into red He is staring at the harpoon.
Oh no.
He has done nothing, but he is staring at it, and he is chewing his strawberry. His little nubs are red, stained by the strawberry. Bob that way.
Sweat. Just the tiniest bit of sweat.
Ah. Oh. You hand the baby a gun? Rudimental holds a gun. He's a little dude. He's like Chowser's small, so it's like big in his hands. And he looks at it. He looks at it. He's going to roll to do for gun. It is relatively decent gun. Let's see the challenge rating for gun, for your specific gun. Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. He
It's
drops a
so
strawberry
cool.
in the gun, and he points it. He goes, "Bah!" And a strawberry flies into the wall.
Yeah. It can shoot a lot of things, including fruits.
Bah, bah, bah. Oh, bah. Bah. He dances.
I have enabled my child to commit violence against strawberries.
Don't worry, Vinny. It's on a low setting.
Okay.
You watch him put one strawberry in his mouth and one in the gun. One for you, one for me. Oh, ah.
Oh, baby.
Ah. He fires the strawberry again.
Vinny tries to catch it.
Roll to do. Catch it, bug. You literally, it flies out the gun, you reach out a hand and catch it with like your fingers, like it with chopsticks. Just
Catch it in
boing.
your mouth. Do a
You
flip.
get a delicious strawberry. Oh, Portamento is now unamused with the gun and amused by your cool catch. He is dancing even more fervently. Oh, ha, oh, ha, oh.
Gon takes this moment to take the gun back.
You're able to retrieve the gun from the baby as it dances around Vinny's legs.
Pick up, baby.
Oh.
Aw.
Ah.
Alright.
Okay. Yeah. Have a good day. Or something.
Weird fish, right?
Yeah.
I'll keep
Weird,
an eye
weird
out.
fish. I think it's dangerous.
Alright.
Hey, cool.
Have a good day, y'all.
Finger gun.
Do you have any more
Finger gun
plunges?
should punch.
Oh.
We have plunge. You're like the only person who gets plungers. We don't have. Like, normally they're for like. You leave. You leave as the discussion about plungers starts up. It seems like Gall and Punch have a very interesting dynamic of Punch just kind of putting up with whatever's in front of him, and this being baffling to Gall. So I'm gonna put this on screen mostly because I think it's fun.
Yeah!
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Cool.
Seems cool to
kids.
me.
Yeah.
Cool Kids Club, you know?
Yeah. Cool kid.
That as the Cool Kids Club begins a obscene conversation.
How many plungers does Gaul even use up in the first place? Oh, this is the point where I have to ask if Rose is like in one of these buildings or she's just working.
She's in the water. She, as you have only ever seen her recently, halfway submerged, like kicking her legs in the water, but like doing the where you cross your arms on like a desk and lay your chin on them, but on the side of the road.
The little ledge on the dock.
And it seems like she is talking to this squid woman.
Squid Woman's genuinely pretty cool looking.
Yeah. Can you imagine? It's not very often you have somebody who can also be underwater.
Oh. Vinny considers leaving them be and going off to sea. Maybe circle back later. Ah.
You leave them to talk. You notice they seem to be having a good time. They are fired.
There are 5 types. Ah.
You see, as you round the corner behind the Chow Garden, you see Teeny the cat. He is watering some flowers.
Oh, nice.
He's got his big old raincoat on, and he is not a rollable token. Does he have a rollable token? Did I mess it up? He does have a rollable token. Damn. I can fix this in a few seconds. Hold on.
In the meantime, they are just standing here now.
You do approach.
Given that it's the red stat, it's less of an approach and a more like, oh, he's here now.
Oh, perfect. He's even smaller now. He's happily watering the flowers. Oh, you know what? No, you're not allowed to have that. Ah. Oh, Vinny.
Hmm?
You thought you could approach,
Oh,
but there are a pair of glowing yellow eyes staring at you.
I see. I've met my match.
He stares into your eyes, unblinking.
Stare. This is going to happen for a second time, for entirely different reasons. Stare.
He rolls to stare.
I will
He stares so hard.
I will also roll to stare. I did not stare hard
You
enough.
stare. You stare relatively hard, but he stares harder. Hello.
Ah! Hi.
How you doing?
I didn't remember that his voice sounded like that.
Yeah, you're so like teeny. You guys sound like teeny. The genuine surprise was hilarious. I can feel the scene of Vinny like anime jumping in place.
Sort of like keels over for like a half second. It's like, hi, Teeny.
Oh,
How you been this morning?
I'm okay. I'm watering your plants.
Hmm. Uh, I'm glad Porto is having fun. In this case, I feel like it's at Vinny's expense, which is fine. Anything? Hear anything? Grapevine?
Oh. He taps his chin.
It's almost like it physically hurt Vinny to ask that.
Let's have a roll for Grapevine. I've heard a few things. I heard that we have a shortage on plungers
Oh,
for some reason. And that's why, though. I know. Whoever needs that many plungers?
just close eyes, nod sagely. Vinny knows. Oh. What is happening?
He smiles.
Uh,
Anyway, what about you? Have you heard anything fun?
Not really. I'm just sort of, weird fish? Weird fish.
Weird fish. Wow, if I know anything about fish, it's fish. There's a lot of people who fish in this town, now that I think about it. There's like 4 people.
Hmm.
There's like, doesn't sound like a lot of people, but there's like not that many people.
Here.
There's Parhelia, there's Gaul, there's Rose, there's me. You know what I say, it's not good morning unless you're fishing. It's just morning.
It's just one. If you're planning on fishing later, mind inviting me along?
I would love to.
Oh,
It's always fun to fish with more than one person.
yeah.
You get kind of quiet sometimes, so it's good to have company.
Oh. Alright. How is Porto?
Porto is eating strawberries and following. He is holding your hand with one nub and holding strawberries in the other.
See, this is why I check in with Portamento every 5 minutes. He's so cute. He's so goddamn cute.
He's like little one with a strawberry bag in one hand, and he's like yum 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 yum.
You say. My beautiful baby boy.
Beautiful baby. Teeny gives Porto a little wave. Teeny considers if he should water the onion too, but he does not. Teeny has that mischievous cat look for 3 seconds, then stops.
He makes the cat face.
He makes the cat face.
This one. Alright.
I'll make sure that we'll go fishing later. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I'll see you then.
See you then. This reminds me of a character from Homestuck. Don't mind me.
What?
Don't worry about it.
Oh! What?
Zero is having Holy yuck, bro. Brain.
I am full of fear now.
Don't worry about it. He's just a voice. You walk by this woman and the little one who seem. Well, you don't walk by them, but you can see them like inside, like in the window, just having a morning.
Nice. Okay. Eh. Several babies.
You find two babies and a big one watching them. The two babies have cards. They are play card.
Oh. Which one is the big one?
The ram.
Ah, I see.
I don't know why I assigned a baby to the blue bunny. But I just assigned a baby to that one.
Assigned baby for big doughy eyes.
You walk past these individuals who seem to be, doing their thing.
Sidle past. Eh. Wave to Parhelia.
Parhelia is indeed on the beach.
Hi there.
Hello.
Waves back.
Porto's excited.
Porto is in the sand. And he
No.
is waving. He's waving too. He's waving with his bag of strawberries.
How is the sandcastle doing?
The sandcastle is. Let's see how sandcastle is doing.
I protected it all night.
Oh!
Sandcastle is okay.
Yay! Thank goodness.
With a bonus from Parhelia.
Were you here all night, Parhelia?
No, but I was keeping an eye on it.
Oh. Oh, where's your house then?
Oh, you know.
I see. How have things been?
What?
Eh?
What?
Oh, I didn't hear you.
Oh, how have things been?
Oh, they've been great. I caught some good news.
Oh?
Yeah.
What is the good news?
The good news is that, Oh. Wait.
Huh?
Oh. Wait. Oh.
Oh?
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Well, the good news was that someone was trying something new.
Ah.
And then... Oh, yeah. How's it going?
Taking a set this morning to, like, say hi to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Have, have you seen weird fish around?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, what kind of weird fish?
Oh, big, red, like spiky,
Huh.
kind of reflective.
Huh.
You know, those are lovely starlight tonight. And they were kind of pretty. In a weird, creepy way.
Huh.
Yeah.
You resonate with these weird, creepy fish.
Glowy things in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Mento is decorating the sandcastle like it is a strawberry cake.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
A thing babies do what they really shouldn't.
I probably wouldn't get too close, or if I were to get close, I would probably be ready. But it was a little bit outside of town.
Okay. Should be fine, right?
Yeah, as long as they don't get closer.
Spacey just realized what those weird fish might be. Maybe. We'll see.
But how was saying hi to everyone this morning?
I got an invitation to go fishing with Jeannie.
That's wonderful.
It occurs to me that I'm friends with you, and yet I have not gone fishing very much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to go fishing with me, maybe I could join Teeny and you?
That would be wonderful.
It is a plan.
Maybe we'll see some of those weird fish.
Yeah.
It'll be nice and pretty.
Maybe we'll catch Ro again. Sorry, Rose.
Close eyes. Very content.
Yeah. She's almost the only fish I catch.
What kind of fish are in the lake? Wait, I feel I should ask this now. What do you usually catch other than raw?
You know, like boots, cans, seaweed. Somehow.
Most of the time, you are aware there are fish in the lake, in the lake. There are fish, and there is very little amounts of detritus in there. You know that Rove prides herself on how clean essentially how clean her home is.
Yeah.
It
You can imagine.
It sounds like Corhelia is doing her part to help.
It's starting to dawn on you that you've never seen Vahelia catch any fish other than Rose. Ever. Even though she fishes all the time. But I've seen a lot of fish on my long walks.
Huh.
And when Rose shows them to me.
Oh. Okay. Fish. Just stare off into the middle distance for a hot sec fish.
Yeah.
Fish.
I'm so happy we have so many fishes in town.
What is Porto looking at?
You all started talking about fish, so he's like looking at the water contemplatively. Or at the very least, he's looking at the water.
Is he looking for fish?
He is looking for fish.
Are you looking for fish, little buddy?
Pelia leans down, lays on her belly, looks in the water at eye level, just looking in the same direction as Portamento.
Vinny crouches down next to Parhelia, stares out at the water too.
What are you finding?
Fish, maybe?
Ooh.
Aw.
You're really racing her well.
Up here.
Fish.
Look.
There's fish.
Oh, I have an idea.
Hmm?
Want to get closer, Porter?
Oh? Say again?
Porto, do you want to get closer?
What does Porto do?
Porto changes pogs.
Yes! Okay. Vinny, can you grab Portamento?
Uh-huh. Lift.
Okay,
Up.
okay. And then I shall grab both of you.
Oh.
I shall grab Vinny.
I see. Impromptu fishing line.
We shall reach
People.
You
out over the water.
you all look at the water, and as you do, the fish's head pokes out from the water slightly.
Mm-hmm.
Little
And
ripple.
Vinny,
Hmm?
you and Porto are sprayed with water. It does that fish just a little jet of water before the fish swims away. You two are wet.
No!
No, baby,
Oh,
no.
No! You sure? Baby.
Porto is wet.
Just
Porto is sad.
hug the Porto. Place inside the coat where it is worn.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Porto. I'm gonna also hug.
Big hug.
Big hug.
You all have a big old hug as you comfort Porto.
Yeah.
And I think
I make sure not to destroy
The-
the sandcastle.
the first one of these for the first real one of these for the session.
Yeah. So good.
Bond 2. There we go. Bond 2 with baby.
Baby.
He's wound up so small because he is baby.
Baby.
You will now have Bond 2 with Porto and gain a two additional points of gratitude.
Okay.
That puts you at a total of 11, right?
I had 9 total before. So yes.
So, you are going to gain something.
Oh,
For having saved a total of 10 gratitude, you've gained Chow Trainer level 2.
oh,
You've gained the abilities Chow Support, which allows you to spend 2 gratitude of a colored gratitude bar to perform a special action without igniting a dice.
oh.
You've also gained Forging Bonds. You may now add 4 HP to your max HP for your Bond 2 with Portamento.
4 HP. I can have 14 HP.
You can, for
Oh.
having bonds.
Yes.
The power of baby.
Baby. I add 14. Baby makes bones stronger. Yes. Yes.
Aelia is proud of this big moment between Bug and Leek.
Leak. Leaky boy.
Baby is feeling much better.
Yay.
And now you know why I didn't want you to spend 5 gratitude when you had 9 gratitude at the end of last session.
Okay, I'm gonna feel a feeling about this. Yes. Pluck.
Oh, Ellen! This is perfect.
Yes.
It blends into your background.
Ah. Ooh.
You
The
commune
sand.
with the sand.
The sand.
Yellow and sand. You use your special ability to become sand colored.
Oh my god. I do.
Porto is amazed at the sandness of the chameleon.
Let me just pop this out. And
Oh.
and choose side. Oh.
Oh.
The sandness.
He's camouflaging.
Yeah.
This transparent pog is amazing. It works amazingly. A swing of question mark?
Oh. He's beholding.
Mento is amazed.
He is beholding camouflage. This is wonderful.
Hi there. You know, if you try really hard, one day you too can do this.
Oh.
Vinny, you're like 40% sure that's not true. You want to be 100% sure. Chow is kind of your thing, but also Chow are weird creatures.
Chow also interact with other creatures. Weird.
Yeah, Chow tend to be a very adaptable creature. For them to take traits from the things around them is relatively common. Mento might be a little bit small for it currently. Or at the very least, Mento might not be one who is amazing at that. However, that is not out of the realm of possibility.
Glass onion. Ah.
Glass onion. You think of all the mischief he could cause.
Oh dear. My beautiful boy, he could get away with anything.
You think about what would have happened if he could have turned invisible with the strawberries.
Ah.
You also know that the invisibility wouldn't last long, as he would be covered in strawberry juice.
We do not steal in this house, child. Pick up. Oh.
I would like to roll to inspire.
Oh.
Roll to inspire. Really good inspire.
Whoa.
The inspired.
Whoa.
Porto truly believes that one day, maybe he too will be invisible.
It's all about passion.
The invisibility might also have been ruined by the flailing Chow covered in strawberry juice.
Yeah. Oh, in fact, this is I'm gonna roll to die. Okay. Oh.
Oh. You get covered in strawberry juice.
You are now red.
Yeah. I'm gonna eat some strawberries.
Sit on beach, eat strawberry. Yes. This is wonderful.
It is.
Oh my goodness.
You all have a little time on the beach. What do you do next?
Oh. Place Porto on head. We must complete the rotation. I think it's like at this point it's like Vinny tried really hard when he like first came into town to be like, yeah, I'm gonna act like a normal person, and that went out the window immediately, so now he is just here.
You see L'Oreelli and Vela. They seem to be sitting together, casually talking.
Huh. I might circle back again too. I don't want to disrupt the conversation. How's Rose doing? I wonder.
Let's see if you're allowed to do.
Huh?
No, Vela, you have to drop. Take a look at her stats real quick. This is actually an important decision.
Oh.
Bella, where are you? There you are. Yes.
Oh, for visuals, can Portamento's nameplate be hidden?
Yes. Did I forget to... I might have forgot to do the thing. I did forget to do the thing. Hold on.
Whoa.
There we go.
Whoa.
She's yellow now.
Yo.
And she looks at you. Hello, Vinny.
Hiya. Waves.
How are you today?
I thought I'd stop by and say hi to everyone.
Well, hello.
Hiya. How do you do, Lorielli?
I'm doing okay. How are you?
Huh? I'm doing alright. I just had a really nice time on the beach.
I'm glad to hear.
Hmm.
This is your first time interacting with L'Oreal, so I can let you know.
Hmm.
She is a weaver. She's someone who weaves jewelry and bracelets and necklaces and other small twine accessories.
Hmm.
She tends to be a very rather soft-spoken and kind individual.
Hmm. Hmm. I'm not sure. I don't know if Vinny knows how to respond to L'Oreal.
Oh, how's your big hello adventure?
I think I got almost everyone that I know. Not Rose yet, though. I'll have to circle back around to Rose.
That's good to hear.
Hmm.
How are you, Portamento? Quah. Now L'Oreal smiles. Hello, Porty.
Oh, I love this. Oh, I love this.
Let me see. Let me roll to die.
Portamento gains new nicknames. Yes. Yes. He gains power.
I did my things wrong, but you know what? I'm okay with that. For this one instance. Let me roll to do real quick. Roll to do C. I like the number 6, apparently.
Oh, that's a lot of sixes.
I rolled so many 6s. That's 2d6 for you. She quickly begins moving her hands, twisting and weaving, and she makes a necklace. And at the very bottom is a strawberry, but it is colored like Portamento, white with green. Here you go.
Unright.
And she hands it to Porty.
Ah!
He hangs it from one of his antennas. Like one of his little leek horns. L'Oreal puts a hand up to her face and does a soft little giggle.
Oh my goodness. He has obtained unripe strawberry. This is amazing.
He has obtained unripe strawberry.
Once again, I need to take a sec.
Vela is having a blast. She is kind of wiggling in place, like
Oh,
she's loving this.
are you? Is she wiggling? Is it Does it resemble the vibrating that Portamento does when he's...
Legit? Yes. It seems she is currently being fed. I don't have a pog for this, but imagine like her eyes are closed and her cheeks are all puffed up and she is smiling like, hmm.
I want to say that Vinny just sort of like gently like pats her on the head just to like feel the vibration.
Pat her on the head. Squish.
She's
Squash.
pliable.
Squish. Squash.
She's so pliable.
She is very pliable. I have been graced today.
Are you excited?
She scoops up the baby. I have an idea.
Huh?
Now we have maximum doinker. The giggling to the right continues.
Oh my god. I'm so happy right now.
Lorielli kind of raises, like, after she finishes giggling at the sight of the continuous sight, they have not stopped, of Porto wiggling on top of Vela, which is making her jiggle like Jello.
Maximize wiggling.
Maximize doinkers and maximize wiggle. Vela feels like she might be literally boneless. You're not sure. Hello.
Hi.
I saw you yesterday, but I didn't get a chance to speak with you. How are you doing?
So he scratches the back of his head. I'm doing alright. Oh, have you seen any weird fish around lately?
Let me roll to die and see how.
I figure you live near the beach. Maybe you saw something?
Do I roll more sixes? Let's see. Oh. Not that I can think of. Oh, there was two of them, but they were basically the same. Not that I can think of. I don't tend to deal much with water. My coat tends to get matted.
Ah.
Both the fluffy bits and she kind of like plays with her big sweater. The other one. She is notably wearing what is essentially let me look at her token again. Yeah, she has a little like choker necklace looking thing with a rope like necklace bit and her big sweater and like a dress underneath.
Oh.
She is very soft.
Very warm person.
She is so warm. I haven't seen anything like that. However, I have seen you walking around.
Well,
Have you been having a good day or so?
I think I've been having a good day. Sort of like
She thinks. She's trying to put some words together.
Mhm.
I've only seen you a few times. And normally it's just because you walk towards the Chow Garden, which is right past me. And, well, people see you relatively frequently going to and fro there. And if I were to think of how I would phrase it, I'm gonna roll to die to see how she actually is going to phrase this.
Oh.
Really?
Oh.
Seems like you're lonely.
Oh. I think that takes him out of his swing.
She rolled her weird kind of stat for this.
Uh. Uh.
It's strange. Like, you look lonely, but you also look like you don't want to talk to anyone mostly. I want to tend to give you your space because it looks like you need it. But it seems like you're doing a little bit better today.
Better? Question mark.
You are doing something new. And you are smiling bigger than normal.
Didn't notice.
You say that and you kind of look over at Vela and we see
Tiny. She's a similar.
you notice whatever that is going on.
Oh.
And you feel like that big smile on your face. The smile that after enough time tends to hurt just a little bit, but in a good way.
Oh.
You know what, Vinny?
Hmm?
She reaches over and she pulls something out of her sweater pocket. It looks like Vela is now on top of Vinny's on top of Porto's head. L'Oreal reaches into her little pocket, and she pulls out a white and blue wrist, like a little bracelet. It's made of white and blue like twine and string, like wrapped together and pulled together, and it has a single little charm on it, or it has two little charms on it.
Oh.
It has a little white and green leek, and a little orange-looking thing with two stems.
Oh. Oh.
A little orange thing with two stems. One stem is blue, one stem is pink.
Oh.
And she hands it over. I've been meaning to give this to you for a little while, but I think I have been scared. But I don't think there was a reason to be.
I think Vinny starts to cry.
Oh no!
He is crying. I am crying.
Oh, she gets like red, like, oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. This is wonderful. Oh.
I'm gonna do something that feels appropriate after that. This feels appropriate. Her bond, real cute.
Oh. Oh. Bond up is so cute.
You've bonded up with L'Oreal. You've also acquired a new gift.
You will treasure this gift.
Due to the ability from her Weaver memory, she is allowed to give people a copy of a gift she owns.
Oh.
Spacey, you were granted the friendship bracelet gift. You can interact with someone you have a bond with to gain a amount of beads to your bracelet equal to the bond level. For every bead you have on your bracelet, you gain +1 max HP. And at any point, you can gift this friendship bracelet to somebody you feel is special, and grant them and gain yourself a number of XP equal to the amount of beads that were on that bracelet. Notably that the little Chow charms are not beads, they are just aesthetic that she put on.
Yes, aesthetic. Totally not tugging at my heartstrings violently.
Roma gave me a great little yak. Seeing you cry. You feel something wrap around your leg.
Oh.
Returning the favor. Vela is dropped out of her sling by the side, by the scene. There were strawberries on her head now. She will not notice these.
Hug. Just sort of like gets down and like hug. And sort of like quietly mumble, "Thank you. Thank you."
He gives a like kind of it's a big smile, but it's also a little bit like, oh. You have a feeling that the perception you had about yourself as this kind of, if I remember right, the perception you had of yourself in relation to this town was a loner who was a little bit spooky.
Mm-hmm.
People thought you were spooky and a loner. And it seems that you met someone who did truly think this of you.
Mm-hmm.
Until they actually talked with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems you have changed their mind. So, I believe there's one more person you have to say hello to.
Yay. Sort of like wipes his face a little bit. Pick up. Waves goodbye.
L'Oreal, he waves goodbye. Vela also waves goodbye. She is none the wiser that there is a... Hold on, I have a better side. She is none the wiser that there are strawberries on her head. She feel like she missed something while she was having a fun time with the Chow.
Will not question how she got so small. She is pliable after all. Yeah. Feeding Bella.
Feeding her, in a way. It's like when you put a treat on a dog's nose and wait and don't tell them not to eat it, except she didn't notice they were there in the first place. Excuse me. And you walk up towards the more seaside, or I guess water's edge of town, and you see off to the left, Rosa Teeth is sitting on the edge of town, kicking her feet in the water. She's sitting on solid land for the first time that you've seen. She seems just to be pleasantly whistling to herself. She's still blue. It's hard to whistle with sharp teeth.
So she hums instead. Oh god, that's adorable. Hi.
Oh, hey! How's it going, Vin?
Oh, it's been alright. I wonder if Rose notices that he's being quieter than usual.
She will, maybe. She looks over. Hey, celery stick!
Puts baby down. What do baby do?
Baby is saying hello. You doing okay, Vin?
Yeah. Mind if I sit with you?
She scoots on over. Gotta give plenty of room for the little guy. You know, root vegetables need their water.
Jeez.
She doesn't know what he is.
She's not totally wrong.
So while you two like sit on the edge and kick your feet in the water, Porto sits on his belly and is like patting the water with his hands. Like, oh, ha, pa, 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 ba, 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 ba. He's batting at his reflection.
Is it like the thing where does he recognize that the reflection is him, or
You're not sure he's batting at it. You don't know if he's like, oh, what's that? Or if he's like, playtime. It could be either. Baby going wild.
baby going wild?
So, seems like you've had an interesting morning so far.
I wanted to try something different and like have talk with all the people I know here for a little bit, you know? And I think I'm happy right now.
Aw. I'm glad to hear. I can't spell the word songs.
Huh?
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
That's good. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna change the music.
Okay.
Really? So those are tears of happiness then?
Yeah. Sort of like shows the friendship bracelet that he got.
Oh my god, that's so cute! Look, it's a little celery stick, like the celery stick. She like points at it.
It's a leek, by the way. It's
Oh,
a type of spring onion. I think it just is a spring onion. Onion.
he's an onion?
Yes.
Oh. This is him patting at the water even more fiercely. That's good to know. Sorry. I need to think of onion-related nicknames now. You know onions? I'll think of something. Onion ring!
Yeah.
I got you the little onion ring.
Ring for onion. He will gain so much power.
She pats him on the head as he pats at himself in the water. It's nice to see it more in town. I know I see you relatively frequently. There's a little river that passes by your tree, after all.
Mm.
It's good to see you around town.
Yeah. I think it's good to be here. I didn't. I, uh, I went to roll to die to see how he's feeling right now.
Roll to reflect, and then tell me how you feel.
Uh,
Live and learn.
he be learning already.
Lewis, live and learn. Yeah, live and learn.
Hey. Yeah. How do I convey this? You know, you ever feel like you're part of something bigger, and like when you behold that, and you like, it feels safe and warm and all encompassing, and like we're all working together to make something beautiful.
She smiles and like lays back on the ground, looking up.
Love you guys!
I hope you don't hear background noise.
It's sweet. It's fine.
I kind of get what you mean.
Mhm.
There aren't many places like this around us. We're just a little town. I wouldn't even call us a city, even. Town might even be a bit of a stretch. Collection of houses might be the right word. But it's important where we are to stick together. And, well, it took me a bit to think of, but being alone all the time can kind of hurt.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you get a hug, you get a big old hug. And at first you're like, yeah, it's a hug. You know, this is normal. People give hugs. But then you realize you haven't had a hug in a while. And like, a small little hug feels a lot more, you know?
Mhm. Yeah. I feel like something like that. Do you
She
want
sits up and reaches over and gives you a big old hug. It's like one arm around your shoulder, like pulls you in, like, come here, you.
He did not even have to ask.
He did not, no. She was ready.
Spacey's face feels real more.
So, you said you were trying something new, right?
Mhm.
Starting your day by saying hi to everybody?
Mhm.
What's the next step, then? What's the new adventure for Vinerali in the Onion Ring?
Hey Zero,
Yeah.
you know that lyric in City Escape? Got places to go, gotta find my own rainbow.
Yeah. To save our rainbows.
Gotta. I want to see and feel new things. I want Porto to see and feel those things with me too. I think this is a good start.
She gives that big shark smile that's on her pog. Her eyes sparkle. That's awesome. It looks like to me, you got a little spark in your heart right now. You're ready for something big, I can tell. You know what? I believe in you. Spacey, Rose is going to activate one of her gifts.
Oh?
Ro has an ability. She is one with an adventurous heart and can see it and feel it in others. Pick a gift with a secret level up requirement and tell me which one it is, and she will reveal the secret requirement.
Oh. Okay. What feels most right for this? There's Chow Trainer, wait, no, that one's already fulfilled. There's
Man,
Buzzing
can you
Wing.
imagine if you spent five Chow points to upgrade that? And then, or to get XP, and it was like, yeah, I want to know about Chow Trainer. Oh yeah, you need to get 10 of those.
Oh, that would have been awful. I'm glad you persuaded me otherwise. There's Buzzing Wings, and then there's Bug Report. I think. I could see an argument for either of these. Bug Report feels like the being in touch with your feelings one.
Do you want to know the secret requirement for Bug Report then?
Yeah.
She pokes you in the nose. You're a perceptive one, I know. They say that the greatest of heroes are ones who know how to listen. Listen to the world around them, and listen to themselves. To me, it looks like the way that you could listen even better is simply a very simple lesson. Practice makes perfect. Using your abilities from this gift up to 3 times will unlock level 3.
Okay. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Oh, you typed it out.
Oh, I did type it. Yeah.
But I can type it out.
Use either of the abilities 3 times total.
3 times total. Thank you.
This is because getting a signal is an action and eats actions that could be used for combat.
What?
And stretching out the sensors tends to be a pretty, what's the word? Situational ability. Now, something been like, what's the word? Anything been catching your eye as of lately? Besides, of course, the tears. And the cute things and the happy things.
I've heard something about weird fish. I'm going fishing with Teeny later. I'm a little bit
Nice.
Teeny and Parhelia. And I'm hoping to weird fish. Something about weird fish. Hopefully we'll be able to catch fish of our own. But I also want to get a gander at some weird fish.
Weird fish. That's a call to adventure if I've heard one. No, I haven't seen any. I don't think I've seen any weird fish, though. If they're really weird, they probably want to stay away from me.
Wait, what is Parto doing now?
He's just kind of sitting with you. Like, he stopped batting at the water, and he's just sitting down. He isn't doing anything. He's just sitting. He has a contempt look on his face.
Hey, can I do something?
It's like
weird?
this without the hearts.
Ah. He is content.
What would you like to do?
You're free to tell me no if it's like weird or doesn't make any sense. I guess just sort of like sitting here and vibing. Maybe now is a good time to try taking Rose's advice. Just sort of like hear, perceive, feel what's going on throughout town.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a roll to die with an extra 1d6?
Okay. Is that a roll to die complex?
Yep, roll to die C. You get a bonus 1d6.
So choose amount of d6. 1?
Yep.
Okay. No bonus.
Ooh. There's that 6 again. You close your eyes, legs still kicking in the water, and your antennas go up. And they begin to scan. You follow in almost the opposite direction. You follow back through. You obviously you feel the presence of Rose sitting next to you. Her feeling is kind of happy. She's always got a lot of energy, but currently she's just a big old ball of smiles. You follow it through, and further south you feel this weird camaraderie of two people in the store, honestly just shooting the shit. It's a very nice feeling. You don't even know if they fully understand whatever they're talking about. Like an hour ago, maybe it was plungers. Currently, they're talking about spoons and how those might be close to plungers. But honestly, it's just the thing you do with somebody, you know? You just kind of sit there and you talk. And words tend to lose meaning behind the just feeling of being with somebody else. Further down, you feel somebody banging away at an anvil, contempt by himself. But he's alone. But that's not how he sees it. Because he's banging away at his anvil because somebody brought something in that needed to be fixed. And to him, well, he can't always be up at the same hours. He can't always have the same schedule as somebody else. He can't always make the time to go for tea with somebody. But if somebody has a problem, he can fix it. And that's where he feels it. Vela and Lorielli. Vela is a weird individual. Her life is chaotic. Everything seems to bend and twist around it, and every day's a new feeling. But for her, at least today, she's feeling kind of similar to you. She's just letting it come in. She's opened the door to let other people's emotions in. And maybe that's why she chose to be with Lorielli today. Somebody who is calm and slow. Somebody who lets people take their time. To her, it's things are best when they're taken the time to develop. Let everything twist together as it will, maybe at a slower pace. Arhelia, she's an enigma, to be sure. Everyone knows it. She's a little goofball. She's an out-of-towner just like you. She's been here for a while, maybe longer than you, but she misses home. However, even when the world is new around you, why shouldn't you learn what new things there are? Don't let the game end just because you hit a new level. Learn to love the level you're in. Teeny, he's small. He's energetic. And that's because a lot of things can push on you. And he's learned that the best way to deal with it is to stand with a big smile. Even if things can be hard some days, and it feels like you're the smallest person in the room. You're teeny tiny. With a big enough smile, nobody will miss you. And you feel the feeling of town. Of all these people who have these feelings of what it's like to have these companionships, these bonds together. And your senses extend even further. There's more out there in this world. The world is open. The wind blows in your face slightly, bringing the smell of water, the general feeling of cool air brushing against you on a hot day. And you wonder, back to the story you told yesterday. You wonder if that person who could run so much faster than you, someone who couldn't be stopped for anything, but was only ever known as a blur. You wonder if they were lonely. I mean, no one remembered their face. So, you can tell me if this maybe isn't it, but you decide that before heading out to fish with Teeny, after your conversation with Ro, you and Portamento are going to go for a walk. You're gonna leave town for a bit, still feeling this high of emotion. Also, I'm gonna do something before you leave.
Oh?
Because it would be criminal if I didn't do this.
Oh.
It would be literally criminal. You do bond up with Rose.
Well,
And the bond up thing with her is her ability to read your secret stuff. Also, you can gain a bead on your friendship bracelet. 2 beads.
oh, jeez. Okay.
We'll worry about that later, though.
Okay.
You now have 16 HP. You just kind of walk. You say goodbye to Rose, and you and Mento walk out of town. You walk past, feeling and hearing the voices. And as you leave town, you are going to move somewhere else.
Oh.
You find yourself walking. walking along this path, trees rustling in the wind. And as you walk, you feel something in the distance, or you see something in the distance. Your senses still slightly heightened. Something floating in the water.
Oh.
And then it isn't floating in the water anymore. And then
Oh. Oh.
and then something else is floating in the water.
What? Oh. Huh.
Let me see if I can find some good music.
Can I edit? Hold on. There we go. Oh.
You see something. You see, first of all, more of those weird hexagons. And then that should do it.
Oh.
Back and up and operational. What do you think, boys? You hear chattering. You quickly hide behind this log here.
Mm.
You see a robot? It's strangely built, not like anything you've heard of what badniks might look like.
Oh.
Hexagonal, blocky. Strange, but it is surrounded by some badniks you've heard of in the past.
Mm.
Every time is a little bit different nowadays. You get beaten up a little bit, and then you need to find some things to power you back up. Luckily, this little corner of the world tends to be pretty rich. He holds one of the hexagonal rings. And these little puppies. And boss always likes me to collect some energy while I'm out. Huh. You think you might have found the source of what's been making all the rings go weird?
Hmm.
And your sense is still slightly extended. You don't feel anything from anyone over there.
Oh.
There's no feelings at all. Just cold metal. Or mostly cold metal. The green one. That's cold, that's metallic. But there's something inside the other three.
Oh.
Those three are cold, but something inside is scared.
Oh.
What do you do?
Oh. Okay. Spacey is thinking about how to best approach this. Drop and reflect?
Mm-hmm.
I'll try and figure out my approach with this. Drop. Reflect. Well.
Your highest are endless possibilities and live and learn.
Alright. I think. Oh. God, I need to think about this. Just no. Just go for it. Just go for it. Come on. Okay. Porto, I need you to wait here. I'm going to grab their attention. While I have their attention, you try and run in there and grab those hexagonal rings, alright?
Ah, he salutes.
Gotcha. Wait until I've grabbed them and drawn them away.
Ah, he's ready.
Alright. I think Vinny, unfurls his little cricket wings and, flutters over this log and just, deep breath in and, gives a big old shout, hey!
Huh? Who's there? Who
I'm
are you?
He gets cold feet and is no, not entertaining this.
What's up, Squirt?
He keeps walking forward, but doesn't really have a plan. He's realizing he's doing this without any real plan. Maybe
Have a
that's
thought in your head.
No thoughts. Head empty.
You hear me? Those antennas just for show, kid? The buzz bomber's looking at you, or the jacket jet. Talking here.
You know what happens? Okay. Walks up to this one. Grab.
Oh, roll to do. Oh man, can he? No. You grab it. What do you do with it? Yeet.
Yeet, ideally away from the river.
Hold on. You have a thing for this.
Oh, the fastball special, huh?
If you spend 2 points of... Yeah, if you spend 2 points of yellow, you can make an attack up to 2 extra targets. I will only say 1 here. But if you spend either 2 points or ignite, you could yeet the bug at one of the other bots.
2 points of yellow, right?
Yes.
Alright, I'll
They're
spend
going to quickly lock in, or... God damn it, he's not allowed to lock into that. As soon as his token reappears... he's not allowed to have that. He is allowed to have only a 2. He's only allowed to have a blue 2. He will be gaining some extra health. Okay. So, would you like to do Yeet?
Yes.
Okay, which one would you like to target with the other attack?
I'll yeet at the lobbed star.
Okay, make another roll to do.
Let's see how this goes.
Okay. Yeah, you beat a 3. You spend 2 points of yellow. You spend 2 points of yellow. You reach up. You grab this jacket jet before it can even react. You grab it by like the midsection between its body and its stinger, and you swing it around. Like, you know the Mario swinging Bowser by his tail and he spins?
Yes, hammer
You
toss.
do swing, 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 throw! Poof. You throw it out. You deal 5 damage to both of these badniks, both of which have only 4 HP.
Oh,
Pop! What? What's the deal, kid? And you see, hopping out from the remains, a little bunny rabbit
Oh.
and a little turtle.
turtle
Turtle.
walks up.
And I'm going to quickly, hold on. I'm going to mark these as initiative things are about to begin. But you have 2 animals saved. Okay then, someone wants to play hero. Let's show him what happens to heroes. Roll die for the beginning of combat.
Nice. Ah. This will be fun.
Fuck. That's right. And you will go back up to my HP. And I'm going to quickly do one more thing. You've got Ponder and Flaw, right? Yes. Set swing. This thing wasn't originally here, but Ellen kept saying it is. Okay. Okay, and then object token, descending. But Vinny,
Mm-hmm.
you combat begins. Let me change music. It's time. You feel it in your heart.
Mm.
It's time to be cool. Be wild. Be groovy.
Be buck.
Your turn.
Alright. I have like 10 feet of movement, right? Alright.
You have 4 squares.
4 squares. Okay, 20 feet. Okay.
You are very slow.
You know what? I'm just gonna walk to where that lobster was and just be like, 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at this dude and be like, do like, come at me, bro hands.
Hold on, he is actually going to lock into red, not white.
Mhm.
'Cause I
And then-
remember he actually has the Ponder and Flaw too.
And like, I'm gonna do the come at me, bro hands and like, hold my action, I think.
Okay. You hold your action. It is now the bot's turn. Um. Da, 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 da. Oh, you know what? Something happens.
Oh.
He is going to lock out a die. He is going to lock out yellow. And the world seems to change around you. It's hexagon time!
Oh, gee.
The world seems to shape. Hexagon's the bestagon, kid! And he's going to back up, and his arm is going to shoot forward, extending at you. And he is going to roll to do clashing with you.
Oh.
Oh, you also gained some gratitude from earlier, by the way.
Oh. What gratitude?
1 point of yellow and 1 point of red.
Okay.
Because you beat 2 badniks.
+1 and 1 +1. What? Alright, now I roll to die back. Not die. Eh.
Oh! You swing forward this powerful attack. Or he swings this arm at. He launches his arm straight for you. What do?
So, you know the strawberry catch, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be catching these hands and riding them back to the source.
Oh, you catch these. Are you okay trading back? Are you okay trading back knockback? Are you okay trading recoil damage for movement?
Yeah.
So you will deal no recoil damage, but he launches his hand, not only like the strawberry catch, but like the fishing line, and you ride it back to him. What? And you've held an action.
Those wings that he's been keeping underneath, they spread out, and he jumps up, takes the momentum to bring his way up and on top of this thing, with the aim of slamming down onto him.
You jump up, swinging in the air, and spinning. You go to do an axe kick. Yeah, you remember from the story. Kick him in the head. Roll to do.
Yay! Ah.
Hey, Vinny, how many points of red are you willing to spend?
I have
You can either
3
spend
right
one to try and re-roll, or multiple to just win.
I what I want to I'll be spicy with this. Let's just spend 1 and re-roll. I will regret this
Okay.
immediately, but it's okay.
Yeah, escalate. Roll again. Roll to do. Well, I don't know if you have enough points for that.
No, I don't.
So you are going to... Thank God you have so much HP. You're going to take 8 damage.
Alright.
You go to slam your foot on this thing's head. And you do, and his head goes down. And then it tilts like a dice that fell wrong on its side, and you land with a hit to your back on the floor. As he just pops back up and pops his head open. Nice try, kid. A little bit harder than that next time. It's your turn. Moto Snail. He is going to roll at you. He does not have a pawn drone. Yeah, he is enough. Yep. And he is going to make an attack at you. Roll to roll to die, I guess. Okay. I mean, I don't think you want to change anything there. But this
Yeah.
thing, you swiftly dodge this thing and just kind of sidestep it. That's his turn. It's somebody else's turn. Don't worry about it. They do stuff. That's their turn. It is now this thing's turn again. It's the start of a round. Roll to die. You can keep or drop if you like.
Let's roll to die. Ah!
He's just gonna keep his red. No, he is going to take another one. Roll or set swing. White. Met. Ching. Okay. Let me go look at what his white means again. So he holds up his hands and oh wait, hold on. Something happens.
Hmm?
So you watch something weird happen. This rock over here on the other side of the water,
Hmm?
it turns into a hexagon.
Oh. Oh.
That's nothing like really happens with that. It just does.
Okay.
The world seems to shape around this robot, and he holds out his hands, and a force field made of connected hexagons, and he's going to try and just push you with it, making an attack. This does not clash.
Mm.
His white clashes with nothing.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Roll to do. You roll to die.
I roll to die. How much damage do I take?
That will be 5 damage.
5. Oh boy.
That is his turn.
Okay. My turn. Porto. Porto takes my movement, right?
Yeah, Porto has his own 30 feet movement.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, jeez. Hide in the grass.
That would be the square here.
You mean hexagon, right?
That hexagon there!
And I am going to use one of my consumable gifts.
Which one?
Let's see. I have the...
I'm gonna say Porto was hiding last turn so that he wasn't seen during the chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, I eated all of the action economy last turn. Whoops.
You're good. I mean, you can both move. It is just you only have one action.
Okay, then if I move,
But
then
he was still hiding so that he didn't get seen.
Well, the goal now is to like back up a little bit. So move. Yeah. 20. Ugh. Back up a little to here, maintaining eye contact. Calculating. The consumable gift I want to use is the packet of rings that Rivet gave me earlier. Box of rings.
It honestly not even an action. You just throw it up in the air and heal 3.
Okay.
Ching 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 ching.
Okay, if I can still use an action, then yeah. Oh, let me give myself 3 HP. I need that. Oh god, I need it. Okay. I'm going to use the other ability that I have in Bug Report. The Getting Signal. As an
Who would you like to know the health bar of?
This dude over here. Heck.
Okay, you see a health bar. You're aware of 7 of 5 HP.
Okay.
Strange.
Hmm.
It seems like what signal you're getting is something almost electromagnetic is the signal you feel like you're getting from that 7 of 5 HP.
Mm-hmm.
And that's your turn.
Huh.
Moto Snail. He's coming for you.
Yay! Put, put.
Beep, 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 beep. This will be a clash.
Alright. Let's see how I roll. Oh?
You do it. He rolls at you. What do you do in response?
I want to sidestep until he putt-puts into the water.
He puts him way into the water, and he pops, and a little seal crawls out.
Oh.
You gain 1 blue gratitude.
Plus 1 blue.
How much movement do you have? Let me go to my secret boy. Or maybe I won't. Okay, that's his turn. Hexbot. New round. We can roll the die.
I'll say a die.
I assume you're keeping your blue?
Yeah.
Honestly, he's going to keep his white too.
Ooh.
And you feel it again. His HP bar goes from 7 to 5 out of 5.
Oh.
Yeah, farther away from me. Ooh, there's a 6 there. You notice. Part of the bridge up here turns into a hexagon.
Huh.
The world is still... No, even better. This bundle of flowers over here, all the petals turn into hexagons. He's going to move. And he's going to roll to attack at you. Roll to die.
Roll to die.
Easily! He shoots his hand at you, and you, once again, it's like you're stepping back and forth, leaning side to side, just sidestepping literally everything.
My legs may not be good, but my reflexes sure are.
Yeah, that's his turn. He's like, sit, stand. God, you're not even that fast. You're like slow, but I can't hit you. Ugh. God. Ah. It's your turn.
Oh, can I switch to yellow?
You can, absolutely.
Alright. God. The way I want to flavor this is like, I want to find some way to see if I can drag this robot into the water. I want to catch these hands again and drag him into the water as I take flight.
So the options you have is you could run up to attack, ignite a dice to throw him equal to your swing, which is six hexagons, or you could instead spend 2 points of red to do the same.
Okay.
So first of all, you would just run over and do an attack.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just run over and do an attack.
5 foot step, swing.
Dun 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 dun.
There's a little bit more on that, just so you're aware.
Oh.
Not enough, though. So, would you like to spend either red or ignite to throw a man?
I will ignite. So I drop my
Okay,
swing, right?
Hit the ignite button.
Oh, there's an ignite button. Whoa, I've never done this before. What does this do? What?
So it drops your swing and then locks it out.
Hmm.
You grab him. He will deal 6 damage, and you know it due to your innate knowledge to his health.
Hmm.
His health bar 5 to 0, but he does not take a wound.
Hmm.
He doesn't take a normal wound, but a die is wounded.
Huh.
He is going to lock it yellow again, and he is thrown into the water. What specific square do you want him to go in? You have 6 squares, 6 hexagons of movement, so 30 feet.
I want to throw him into one of the hexagon objects he created. So either the flowers or the rocks. It's
Yeah, you swing and oh no, you have an additional +2 distance. So yeah, you throw him into the flowers. It's like this kid's really starting to bug me.
oh, haha.
You watch as a field of blue light sparks and cracks around him.
Oh.
Dang it! And that's his turn. It is now start of the round. He's going to drop his swing and roll to die. Wow, this sucks. It's yellow too, I guess. Roll to die.
Roll to die. Bleh.
You can unlock your yellow, and you can go blue.
Woo.
Hexbot. Your speed. Oh, I say it, but like obviously this thing's name is Hexbot. Like, come on. He is going to move here. Is he actually within range? He is not. He's going to move 1 square more. There he is. And he is going to roll to attack you. He pulls his hand back and he reels it. He like lets it go on its wire and begins to spin it before throwing it forward.
Ooh, curveball. Oh.
Ooh, curveball. Roll to die.
Huh?
If you spend points from blue, I don't know how many you have.
I currently have, let me see. 4 blue points.
If you spent all of them, you would avoid this. But it is only 3 damage, so it's up to you.
I'll take the 3 damage, it's fine.
Yeah, you take the 3 damage. Oh, you know what? Remembering now. If you want to ignite on a roll that is not a clash, you have to say you were igniting beforehand. Luckily, you were, so it's fine. But yeah, that is the Hexbot's turn. Vinny. Don't forget Porto.
Porto.
Or Portamento.
Portamento. Do I want Portamento to come out of hiding right now?
It's up to you. This guy, at the very least, is very distracted.
Alright. I will engage while Porto approaches over from this side to, like, grab. Throw hands more. Throw hands more.
Roll to do.
Let me first move Porto. How far? 30? Okay, right there.
Porto is blue right now. He's fast.
Whoa, that's my boy. Gonna try and slug this robot. Slug.
Ooh. Now with with the dice missing, yeah, you just hit him. You deal 6 damage. Do you just punch it? Just punch in the face?
I want to incorporate running in some way. This is the blue stat after all.
You run, you hop, drop kick.
Do a flip, run up to him. Sick tricky.
You do
Got
an
it this
upside down axe kick.
Oh, it landed this time. He's like a little
Boom!
surprised.
He's like spins in place for a second. You kicked my hover device. Ah!
By the way, does it take an action for Porto to pick up these rings?
The Porto can begin gathering rings.
Gotcha.
And then it is time. This creature is going to quickly roll to die. It is going to drop its swing and then roll to die. And it will lock into a swing of 2!
2? 2.
Ooh. Does this thing have any bonuses from... No, he doesn't, so he's just going to take some extra HP. As something emerges from the water!
Oh,
A strange fish!
yeah.
Red and shiny!
Huh?
Roll to die. Roll to die. Easy.
I've dealt with
You-
one fish before.
You literally don't even move. He flops on the ground and then is like biting at you, but it's like you're further away from the water.
You missed, buddy.
Start of the round. I'm gonna drop my sling and roll to die. God damn it!
Roll 2, die. Where?
That's not good. Man, I'm gonna be yellow, I guess. Yep, that's about right.
2.
2. He never left 2. Okay, Hexbot's gonna begin. He's going to move here, and he is going to make another attack at you. Oh, that's the wrong button. Roll to die.
Roll 2, die.
Not even a fucking chance. Like, he swings his arm at you, and you just kind of move, and he grabs the fish for a sec. He's like, no, fish! That's not the fish! And that's his turn.
God.
Vinny, it's weird. This is a combat. You've never fought badniks before. They're rare recently. Nobody in town has seen them, and if they do, it's normally Ro or Punch's job to take care of them. They're the town guard, essentially. But even now, this thing that has been attacking you, this fish with sharp teeth that jumped out the water, and you laugh. Because at the end of the day, this is something new. The wind's on your back. It feels so free. What do you like to do?
Hmm. I wanna kick off my feet and send myself at this hex spot as fast as I can run at it.
Yeah, roll to do.
Roll, two, do. Eh. Eh.
Hold on, hold on. And he like holding up his hands like, oh, hold on, kid. I'm sure we can talk. We can, boom. You hit this thing and he like folds into the full hexagon like 3D shape and literally rolls away. Like rolls off screen. You just send him Team Rocket blasting away again. There's a fish left.
Hey Porto, you wanna grab a weird fish?
Ah! The fish looks left. The fish looks right. The fish realizes it doesn't know directions.
Poop tap, poop tap, poop tap.
The fish realizes you're on land. And using his astounding speed, 5. That's it.
Porto could make that easy.
Roll to die for the start of the round.
Yeah!
You could also lock into that red 6 if you like.
Uh,
The one from earlier.
I
Red 2 it is, baby!
You know what? For Porto's sake, I'll let him clash.
Uh-oh. Yeah, uh-oh. What do you do? What does Porto do? Oh, can I make a suggestion?
Yeah?
Porto throw the hexagon rings like shuriken?
Ooh! He's learning from his dad!
And you can use your once per day out of the park to gain a bonus 1, 2, 3, 4, a +5 from distant, or I would say plus 5 from distance.
Ooh. To get that 125 and get it all the way there?
So roll to do.
Roll to do.
You can do roll to do C, and then you add a plus. I'm gonna say +4.
Okay. Swing. No extra d6, and a bonus 4. Submit.
No, hold on. He might have a chance. He does not. You reel back, and Porto reels back, a shing in his eyes, and he remembers something that happened. He remembers that time you pulled back and launched Rose through the air, and he spins. He chucks one of these rings, and it just bonks off of it, and this thing, pop, before the ring just kind of clunks to the floor. And in its place is a little parrot.
Parrot! Oh.
You have saved 4 animals.
So the
And
pit-
as combat ends, the world seems to revert. The rock and the flowers are still hexagons, but the world itself seems to not be strange anymore.
You did so good, Porto! Pick up. Up! Does the like Yosha. Yosha.
You two celebrate. And as you two celebrate, You feel like there's more of this day left. But there's a few questions on your mind, even as you begin to head back to town. These 3 weird rings in tow. You need to bring these to Rivet after all. But where did that badnik come from? Where did any of these badniks come from? They haven't been around in ages. And suddenly one that can talk is running around? Don't worry about that. Something that could talk, and it seemed like it was doing something. I mean, you had fishing later today. It'll help you relax and heal up a little bit. You gotta bring these rings to Rivet. But maybe you found that string you were looking for. A bit of adventure to follow. But that'll be for next time on Sentiment. I just want to run. Thank you all. Thank you for playing, and thank everyone for watching.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And you can end the recording.
Thank you. Bye.